It looks like right after we got an update on the Mighty Governor and Wheel of Fortune events, we're actually getting an update as well to some other things. So in this video, we're going to be going over these point by point and what kind of impact they're going to have on the game. Without further ado, let's get started. So first, we're going to go over the changes to RoK and Osiris League. First, it looks like we're getting another season of Osiris League. For those who are new to Osiris League, it is a tournament bracket style with Ark of Osiris, with a group stage qualifier to get in. This is very much a whale heavy game mode, but if you can make it into the tournament, even just the group stage, the rewards are well worth it, even if you just lose. So consider getting your alliance ready for this match and trying to get in. Next, RoK is getting a new game mode called Raging Sands. It looks like with this change there will be some skill changes, and most notably there's going to be sandstorms obscuring your view of targets. This is going to actually make the game more fast-paced when combined with the speed boost at the start of the match, and allow for some sneaky tricks in place for prospective rally and field players in RoK. Some skills will also get tweaked, but they aren't announced officially yet, so I won't elaborate on these. And lastly, there's some quality of life changes, including changes to occupation scores, and the ability for troops to be sent back from garrisons by officers when they're garrisoning buildings. This will help make certain buildings more significant in the game as a whole, as well as giving flexibility to players who want to adjust garrisons on the fly without perfect communication with their teammates. Next, it appears we're going to be getting leadership-specific equipment. It's not clear what this means exactly, but based on other mechanics using these leadership versus others, it'll be a slightly lower scale than specialty troop equipment, but for all troop types. So instead of a high percentage for cavalry, archer, and infantry on any one stat, you'll get a more medium value for all troops. For example, something that gives you 20% attack on a weapon might give you 16%, but for all troops instead of just cavalry or infantry. These will also come with their own blueprints and their own legendary chests like we currently have for the main troop types. So this will be an entirely different set from what we already have. Now that we've touched base on the more minor changes, let's get on to the big change here in this update. And this will be KvK changes, mostly applying to immigration in the Season of Conquest. First, you'll be able to join alliances in other kingdoms. These alliances will need to be in your camp, but otherwise there are no major restrictions. This means that you'll be able to be safe on another kingdom's territory in KvK as long as you're in that alliance. This means if you have a double B camp for Season of Conquest KvK, you're actually going to be able to be on that other kingdom's front. This will be huge for fighting, as camps will have a ton more flexibility and being able to attack and defend territory, both your own and your allies. The second part of this is any kingdom in your lost kingdom can be migrated to at a discount on your passports. It's unclear how much this discount will be, but regardless, this is a significant deal for migration, especially for kingdoms on the lower end, as it appears for now the reduced cost of migration is for both allied and enemy kingdoms in a KvK. I don't think this will be a huge deal in most cases, but you may see with matchmaking based KvKs like Nile that there might be mass migration set up by matching into a KvK to get a discount on passports. Although this will probably be limited and the exception rather than the rule. This does make it easier to pick up momentum for lower level kingdoms though, as success can be built upon by merging fighters from weaker kingdoms to form a strong fighting kingdom all in one potentially. There are some other minor changes, like some quality of life improvements to the Season of Conquest page, Margaret coming to the tavern, so she'll still be accessible outside of her release event. But most of the miscellaneous changes come to the Autarch and Vindicator Tavern, which is going to have the time reduced, meaning you have to be online the day it opens, which severely limits your ability to be offline. In addition, the commanders you can choose is reduced to 1, meaning you can guarantee when you spin or open these tavern chests, you're going for the one commander. And since the commander is no longer locked, you can just switch it once you have enough heads. So if you only want 10 heads for a commander and you get it, you can then switch it to a different commander you're working on. And you could get the best of both worlds, although your time frame is severely shortened. In addition, we're going to be getting some other immigration rule changes. First time season of Conquest Kingdoms will now be able to take in 150 immigrants per season initially, and then after their first season of Conquest KvK, they'll be able to accept 500. This means that after your first season of Conquest, you can really flip your kingdom upside down and have a completely new roster of players, with a reduced amount of change going from LVD to Season of Conquest. The resource rules are still going to remain in place though, so it means whatever you can't protect in your storehouse, you can't take with you. So keep this in mind if you are planning on leaving for a new kingdom. In other changes, commanders can be sorted now by the engineering tag like they would the infantry, cavalry, archer, leadership, or integration style. It makes it slightly easier to find these engineering commanders. I imagine this means more are coming, because right now there's only 2, but overall this is just a slight quality of life change for now, so I wouldn't read too much into it. When you come back from KvK, you will always come back to the top left province as long as there's space available. This is useful for both players looking for consistency and coming back to home kingdom, as well as keeping certain KvK troublemakers trapped into one zone. Because instead of them randomly getting teleported into any zone 1, they're going to always be in the top left. This is going to be great for leadership players, as you'll be able to find trouble players more easily and keep them penned up in a certain area, as long as you can lock down major alliances outside of that zone. Because rogue players will have very few places to settle in if you do it this way. Lastly, some changes being made to the monthly special offer for players who migrate during the monthly special offer, but this is more quality of life and bug fix than anything else, so there's not too much to read into here. But with that, we're going to conclude our breakdown of this update. This all goes live on May 1st, so there's still some time for some things to change, but overall I think these changes are actually not too bad, and I think they're making the game pretty interesting overall and helping give some consistency in some places where there wasn't before. But let me know what you think. Do you think this update is for the better or for the worse? Let me know in the comments. And as always, good luck, fight well, and I will see you on the battlefield.